So all of Fear the Walking Dead Season 7 has been building up to the big massive battle between Strand and Alicia. Episode 14 made us believe that 15 we were going to finally see this battle. And after watching 15, well... So before I actually do get into the episode, this is going to be a full spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the episode and you don't want to get spoiled for you, do not listen to this review. But anyways, with that being said, this is a terrible episode. This is their 100th episode. Now, 100 episodes, there's only been two that have stood out to me. Well, The Walking Dead stands out to me because it's my favourite show. And the How I Met Your Mother 100 episode. I thought that was pretty good. I don't know any other 100 episodes, but I'm going to remember this one because it was pretty shit. Massively disappointing episode. I remember, I think I want to say 21, 22 of The Walking Dead Season 10 where it was called Splinter, and the whole episode was a dream. For the most part, this whole episode was kind of a hallucination dream, and it was terrible. Alicia Clark has... I'm not going to say she's my favourite character. She's never been my favourite character, but she's been always one of the best characters on Fear the Walking Dead. To see her evolution from Season 1 to where she is now was brilliant. But what they've done with her character in Season 7 has been terrible. They have literally taken the character and destroyed her. Not only when they cut off her arm, I thought, okay, this is interesting. What are they going to do with her moving forward? But all they done with her, with chopping off her arm, was giving her an illness and then pretty much making her useless throughout the entire season. Now, I can't remember the first half of Season 7, but from memory, she doesn't show up until the very last episode, episode 7 or 8. And then in this half, she's barely in it. So I don't know if it's something that Alicia Deadman Carey didn't want to be part of the season. But what we got of her this season has just been terrible. And then her storyline in this episode where episode 14 ends up, the building is catching fire, she's trapped on the roof, Strand's on the roof, and then all of our group are on the basement level of the building. This episode picks up where the entire group has escaped. It's now daylight. They are carrying Alicia out to safety, and they're making their way to the water. There's such a massive chunk of story there that I feel like is missing. Now, I'm not saying every little thing has to be fleshed out, but that's a pretty big leap to take. Comparison's a lot bigger, but it'd be like going from the end of Infinity War where Thanos snaps, and then we got to Endgame where everyone's back. Like, comparisons are a lot bigger, but that's pretty much what they've done. They've just skipped over so much information because I want to know, how did they get Alicia out of there? The entire roof was on fire. How did they get away from those walkers who were covering the doors? Of course, they mentioned that there's tunnels, but I don't fully get how all of this went down. I want to see how that went down. And then when they finally get to the water where they left Morgan, they start to make their way out there. So apparently that's really close to where Strand's tower is, because they go back and forth to the tower pretty often, pretty easily. So I'm wondering how close that was to the tower. So that's very odd that Morgan left from there. It's just, again, a very odd turn of events. But we see Alicia then see someone in the distance. She runs after them. It's revealed later on in the episode that this girl she's been seeing throughout the entire season is a younger version of herself. I don't know if I'm the only one. I highly doubt it. That was very fucking obvious. That was so obvious. Even in the episode she goes, oh, I got bit, pretty much in the same place Alicia did, but she survived. As I wonder if they were trying to set it up for people to be going like, oh my god, is there a cure? Is she the cure? But obviously not. It's clearly a child version of Alicia. But then Alicia's subconscious wants her to go and save Strand, so she goes back there. She passes out. She wakes up in the MRAT. She passes out. She finds a videotape. I don't know exactly what that videotape is, but she then gets saved by her people. They bring her back to the water. Then she goes, I have to go save the little girl who's at the tower, because she knows someone at the tower. They get to the tower. They start to save him. And then it's revealed that, oh my god, I need to go in here alone. Everyone's like, yep, we've saved you 3 or 4 times now, but fuck it. You want to do this alone? Go off and do it alone. She gets to the roof of the tower. She notices that the radio is broken. Then she realizes that, oh my god, Strand is the person I'm here to save. She goes down to Strand. She's talking to Strand. Strand is perfectly fine in his penthouse apartment, even though they were saying how they have to get out of this place as soon as possible, because once the walkers catch fire, radiation is going to kill them all. But Strand is, I assume he was loopy because of the alcohol, but he could have been loopy because of the fumes. I don't really know. But him and Alicia start talking. Alicia is tempted to then kill herself. She's been had a one bullet around her neck to put herself down. And the two of them are talking. She goes to kill herself. Then she sees a bird and she realizes, oh, maybe I want to save this bird. Then they talk about Madison a fair amount. We see flashbacks to all these people that have meant something to her throughout the entire season, throughout her entire journey. And then she realizes that she wants to save Strand. So then her and Strand get to the MRAT. I don't know how they got to the MRAT, but they got to the MRAT. They pass out again and they wake up by the water. And then Alicia is in the boat. Everyone's like, oh, don't worry, Alicia. Alicia says her goodbyes pretty much to everyone. She's talking to Charlie, giving her goodbyes to Charlie. She's giving her goodbyes to Daniel, Strand, everyone. I know it's in the moment type of thing, but I doubt people have forgiven Strand. But judging by the writing of season 7, I wouldn't be surprised if they just moved on. But I really honestly don't understand why we went through everything we went through in season 7 just to end up where we are. I don't understand why they made Strand the villain. This was announced as Alicia'S final episode. Now, I assume she'll be back at some point because they done the same thing with Madison. They said Madison's final episode, they said she was dead. Of course, she's not dead. But if they knew this was Alicia'S final season going into it, why would they make Strand the bad guy? Why would they kind of damage the Strand character, damage the relationships with all these people? I don't understand it. It's like when we found out Andrew Lincoln was leaving the normal show. Why did they kill off Chandler Riggs beforehand if they would have known Rick was leaving in season 9? Again, it's just baffling decisions. But Alicia then says her goodbyes to Strand. It's quite odd. For some reason, they're all just happy to leave her there. After everything they've gone through, they just happily leave her on the beach. And it's a very, very odd. And as they're going away, she passes out. And then she wakes up and she's fine. Now, the other version of Alicia said, oh yeah, that happened. I was bad one day, I was fine the next. But it's weird because not only does she wake up and she's perfectly fine, but when she passed out, her t-shirt was filthy with stains on it. Then when she wakes up, her t-shirt's perfectly clean. So I don't know if this is something to be where she's dead and this is her kind of, I don't even know what you call her soul, I don't know, but if this is her in the afterlife, which would be very odd because we've never seen anything like this in the Walking Dead universe before. But everything about it is different than it was when she passed out, so I don't understand. We see her actually use that final bullet on a walker to be like, oh, I'm going to go out there and save people. Like, she just leaves she takes her bag. I get she thinks she's going to live even though she doesn't think she's going to live, so would you not leave your stuff with the people who are going to live in your group? But no, she takes her bag with her, she passes out, then she puts her mask on and goes towards the tower, even though they know radiation. She knows the radiation is going to be lethal and it's going to be killing people, so she goes towards the tower, leaves her stuff there, so she clearly doesn't care about the stuff, so why didn't she leave the stuff with her group? And it's odd, like, it kind of leads me to believe that she is actually dead. She died there because the circumstances, like, again, her t-shirt, the atmosphere, everything is different than when she passed out. So it's odd. It was a terrible episode. Definitely the worst of the season. I actually found it painful at many points to watch, and it truly is baffling how Fear the Walking Dead has gone this season. Season 6 was arguably one of the best. It was the best Fear the Walking Dead season, but it was also one of my favorite Walking Dead universes seasons. And then season 7, I don't think it's as bad as season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead, which is pretty bad. I wouldn't put it up against the World Beyond seasons, but it's been bad. They made decisions that have truly baffled me. I don't understand why you're losing a character like Alicia and you kill the people you killed. Like, of course, you have to have deaths throughout the season, but John Dory Sr., I really enjoyed him. I'm disappointed he's gone. And it's just, I feel like every decision they made this season was the wrong decision. I don't understand why they made us stay with the nuclear holocaust place for so long. I don't, like, Morgan knows Alexandria's out there. I keep saying it, why doesn't he go there? But the biggest thing for me is, this episode feels like the finale. This is episode 15. We have 16 this week. I've seen the trailer for 16 and it looks more like an epilogue than... It looks like the next step in the story rather than the conclusive episode for season 7. I wonder if I'm wrong. I wonder if... Like, we see Madison in the trailer, which... Why didn't Madison and Alicia reunite? Alicia's out there thinking her mom's dead. It really annoys me that they're not going to meet. We're going to see Strand meet with Madison, pretty much say, oh yeah, your son's dead and we just abandoned your daughter. She wanted to go, so we just left her out there by herself slowly to die. So that'd be a pretty interesting conversation. And plus, if Madison knows her daughter's alive, why is she going to stay with the group? Would she not go, oh, you left my daughter here, I'm going to go get my daughter, which I'm assuming, actually, you know what, can't assume it, that's a logical step in the story and they probably will not follow that step. But 16 looks like an odd finish final episode. It looks very odd and I wonder where it's going to go. I wonder where season 8's going to go, and I really, really hope it's better than season 7, because season 7 has not been a good season. But if you actually did like this episode, let me know why in the comment section down below. Click the subscribe button so you can hear my thoughts on episode 16. Hopefully it wraps up season 7 well, but my expectations are very low.